is the conduit. I've got an important broadcast that I need to come on and have a conversation about. I'm gonna let a few people come in, and then I'll go ahead and get going here. As you know, City Council is tonight. Tonight is very important, and we need your voice to be heard. If you have been following the conduit, then you know that Kitsap E-Race is there we go. All right, I'm good there. Is something that folks have been advocating for, and many other folks have been actively trying to dismantle. So much so that it was dismantled and told that it had to reform under, some would say, colonialized uh, policies and procedures. However, whatever the case may be, you have to play the game. And so the game is being played. And at that behest of Kitsap Surj, shout out to them. Let me give them the one. They have issued a statement that I am going to go ahead and read to you now. And again, this is from Kitsap Surj. Shout out to them. Very time sensitive. Hello, anti-racist friends. The Bremerton City Council and Mayor need to hear from you at the council meeting Wednesday, May 3rd at 5:30 p.m. That's literally an hour and 10 minutes from now. They are likely to be voting on an ordinance to establish a new Race Equity Advisory Commission to replace the Race Equity Advisory Committee. Using all caps to help visually differentiate commission and committee. Okay? The commission will serve as appointees of the mayor, where the committee had been a part of the city council initiated by the sole councilwoman of color. A diversity, equity, and inclusion officer will be hired, and the new commission will work with the DEI officer. The REAC committee worked hard to accomplish its mission for almost 3 years. There were deep systemic challenges. Despite these challenges, they presented a powerful community conversation, getting to racial equity, designed to learn what the community needs and to present the information to the city. This is a link to the slides that the city received with the recommendations. So I'll go ahead and put that in the chat for those that want to pull that up. And you know what? Maybe I'll even pull that up here after I read the entire letter, but I want to make that available to you. We are very concerned that all of this very important work will be lost without a strong response from the community. We need for the council and mayor to make 2 commitments. 1, they should prioritize previous members of the REAC committee when selecting members to invite to the mayor's new REAC commission. At a minimum, 50% will be continuing committee members. 2, they should commit to continuing the work of the committee by addressing the issues brought forward at the community conversation. Top issues results from poll of participants in community conversation. Okay? Empowered and impactful Bremerton Race Equity Advisory Committee, 83%. Funding underrepresented and underserved communities, 53%. Equitable community engagement, methods and strategies, 53%. Meaningful representation, Black, Indigenous, Pacific Islander, people of color, in-city, elected staff, etc., with meaningful inclusion, safety, and empowerment once there, 53%. Policies, assessing them, analyzing them, and changing them to reflect anti-racist focus, 45%. If you cannot come in person, here is the Zoom link to the city council meeting. And I, again, will put that into the chat. I've never been asked for a password, but this is from their website, and I'll put that in there. But you can also send an email if you would like. Emails are also impactful Both go on the record, but what I like about public speaking is everyone is there so that they can see it, right? Not something that kind of just gets filed away. This request to you is in solidarity with the REAC committee, who helped clarify forward steps in a brief meeting today. Thanks. If you can help get the word out, post this message or email it to friends you think might be willing to support, telling the council and mayor that the work of REACT is invaluable and that the members of the REACT committee deserve respect and appreciation for their contributions. And I'm gonna not put her information out there because this is on a private group, so I won't do that. But you can always send me a message, and I will make sure that it gets to her if that's what needs to happen. Now, I have an update. And so while Kitsap Surj is saying that they want two things here, which I'm going to go ahead and post there. They wanted one, should prioritize previous members of the REACT committee when selecting members to invite to the mayor's new REACT commission. At a minimum, 50% will be continuing committee members. Well, from the way that I understand it, the mayor has already picked his four. The four would be, I believe, Pastor Richmond Johnson, Lucretia Robertson, Martitha May, and the fourth one, Tony Ives. So the mayor intends on keeping it very small. As you can see, as far as I know, none of those people have been were previously on the Race Equity Advisory Committee. So these were handpicked by the mayor. Now, in regards to part two, they should commit to continuing the work of the committee by addressing the issues brought forward at the community conversation. That I can't speak to. I do know there's I don't know how hard those folks are going to push. I know one of my favorite people on there to push this work would be Lucretia. So I'm glad to see that her name is on there. And I do believe that she will push forward and carry on that work, as she is definitely a subject matter expert in this regard. But we need to hear from you tonight. That is the request from Kitsap Surj. As myself, representing me, it is also important. As you know, I broadcast city council meetings every week, whether it's study session or the actual meeting. As you know, I spoke 2 weeks ago, and unfortunately, the only Black people that spoke were Dr. Karen Bolton, Daryl Riley, and myself. And then we also heard from Councilwoman Leslie Doggs. You've heard me lament on the Black people in Bremerton. The fact that we have some very prominent folks that are doing well in this town, whether they attend Mount Zion, Sinclair, Emmanuel, or the offshoots of those churches, Ebenezer, and on and on and on. And if we do not make time for this, power is taken, it is not given. And as long as we continue to ask for understanding, for reconciliation, for reparation, for whatever it is that we believe are the injustices that need to be righted, as long as we are asking, and we know how explosive city council was last week from the things that were said by people that are currently on city council, things will only change marginally if they change at all. So tonight, please make your voice heard at city council. You see the needs, you hear the message, you know what's going on. Comments happen at the beginning. Even if you can't stay for the whole thing, jump on, do what you have to do. but it's the only way things are going to change. I'm R1 Cameron. This is The Conduit. We'll see you in about an hour.